Winds where there's not much water.
A half block from Myrtle Beach itself, we watched this rescue. Apartment residents trapped by a moat 4 feet deep, plucked to safety by fire crews.
It got really bad. We thought we can just,
Ride it out.
You know you can't swim, Brody. What are you doing?
And what happened?
that generator started smoking.
And the water started rising.
Yes.
That's South Carolina. So then it hit South Carolina. What else? And then I got DeSantis and Trump's remarks to it. After slamming, this is from CNN, after slamming Florida Hurricane Ian barrels into South Carolina. And then it talks about Charlotte. We are facing a tragedy. Charlotte County officials say much more assistance is needed. Charlotte County is in desperate need of help despite the assistance it has already received following the destruction caused by Hurricane Ian. According to Claudette Smith, Public Information Officer for the Sheriff's Office, the county in Southwest Florida is home to the city of Punta Gorda. Smith described the situation as a national disaster. I would call it a natural disaster. She calls it a national disaster. That looks like a typo. With many people without homes surviving without electricity or water supplies, we are facing a tragedy. No, you're facing a natural disaster. It's just part of nature. They happen every year. They happen every year. She told CNN's Jake Tapper on Friday, "We need everything. To put it plain and simple, we need everything. We need all hands on deck. The people who have come to our assistance have been tremendously helpful, but we do need everything. We need everything," says South Carolina. All right. What else we got? So let's look at the responses between DeSantis and Biden to these hurricanes.
Florida, Kevin Guthrie, the director of Division of Surveying the damage in Charlotte and Lee counties. And, some of the damage was...
It's a 6-minute clip, guys.
To see
we'll kind of skip through it, but I'm going to play it. I'll be right back. And $1.2 trillion to college debt, student loan debt, Ukraine. We can't afford.
It started in the wee
you can't afford you, South Carolina. Florida got themselves. Florida's got it. Florida's handled.
You had Coast Guard assets.
Why does he have a witch as an interpreter?
Teams. We've had the National Guard out assisting people. There have been more than 700 confirmed rescues.
She has a fast finger speller.
Many more
she
than
ticked.
That will
Don't deaf people have closed captioning on their TV?
Comes in. People have been rescued from places like Fort Myers.
I know this is the
Marco Island, as well as the.
This is like
Islands
the CEO of Walmart. This guy behind her.
A lot of.
And she's blocking him. Nobody cares about the CEO of Walmart, but he donated some money.
People who did not evacuate were hunkered down.
Jamie Lee Curtis on
there was a lot
on the translation
of apprehension, understandably, when initially the first responders came this morning.
We're going to contrast this with Biden's response
whether they were
to Hurricane
Ian. Boat or high water vehicle.
It's amazing.
Now what they're finding is on places like Sanibel,
it's going to make you laugh.
Most of the residents are just waving thank you for coming, but they say that they're fine and that they're staying put. Now, I think that they're to the tiller. Now, we absolutely expect to have mortality from this hurricane, but I'll just caution people, there's a process by where that is confirmed, and there's people, I know that people have said certain things. In terms of confirmed, that will be made apparent over the coming.
Now, see, what he was doing there is similar to Trump during COVID. As a leader, if something bad happens, like COVID, or a hurricane, your job as a leader is not to inspire fear into the people. Your job as a leader is to calm the people, to ease their concerns, to relax them, and to tell them it's going to be okay. We got this. That's what DeSantis did. That's what Trump did. You don't fear monger them. If you saw, I didn't do the whole clip. That's a 30-minute speech. I took it down to like 5 minutes. If you watch the full speech, he does not ever say a death count. And then they ask him later, they're going to go to questions shortly. They ask him, can we get a firm death count? He said, no, we're not going to give that. Because as a politician, you're not the ticker on CNN telling people how many dead people there are. You're supposed to say, guys, we're going to get through this together. We're going to work together. We got the resources. We got this taken care of. These are all the correct steps that we're taking to fix this problem and to have as little damage and as little destruction as possible and have everything back to normal as soon as possible. These are the steps we're taking. It's not, this is the worst, most tragic event in history, and we've had 58 deaths and countless more to come, and they're just going to keep flooding in, and we don't have the resources because we've given it all to Ukraine, and blah, 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 blah. And you'll see the contrast with our president shortly. But this is the
entering that phase of the response where we start to really get into what's referred to as indirect deaths.
Indirect deaths.
Myself and the governor have been mentioning this now for quite some time.
These are the majority of hurricane deaths.
Generator safety. Now we're going to start adding chainsaw safety.
You got to do that in Florida, buddy.
Getting on.
Yo, I don't know how 2022 is the first year that they added chainsaw safety to the hurricane list, because Floridia's been playing with chainsaws. They got videos of Ross Creations climbed up in a tree and then they chainsawed the tree down and he fell into a lake. Like, we play with dang chainsaws in Florida. We're cutting down trees, boy. And this guy's like, we're adding chainsaw safety along with generator safety. The generator safety I understand, because a lot of people got generators. They don't have a clue how to use it. It's their first year in Florida. It's their first hurricane in Florida. They got their generator sitting in a big puddle of water, and they got a multi-plug cord, whatever they're called, plugged into the generator, sitting in the puddle. They're standing in the puddle. And they're like, why is it not working? Plug, 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 plug. They get zapped. But chainsaw safety, the people climbing trees trying to cut down and fix stuff, they're trying to help. You know. The neighbor had a tree on their house. You know, Jimbo over a few doors down says, I got a Husqvarna. I got it. Comes over to fix you up. Doesn't work out too good for Jimbo. That's funny you said that. I thought that was weird. They mentioned chainsaw safety in North Carolina. Take the warning labels off. Just left-handed people need training, said Oathkeeper. I think that's Frederica. Biden says, Lord Con B, spoiler alert, we got that. If people were told every day how many children die in car accidents in car seats, they'd never put their kids in cars. Right.
% avoidable than we do the disaster itself.
How many people have been conversation?
Rip Jimbo.
Devastating time for Florida. What does it look like when the president comes to town? What's your
Listen to this.
I don't know if he's announced.
So I don't know if you could hear the question. She said, what does it look like when the president comes to town? Now listen to DeSantis's answer.
He's coming or not. I know that the FEMA administrator.
He said, I don't know if he's coming or not.
Or if not today. And so we'll be working. I don't know if she's planning on traveling with us on all our itinerary, but she's welcome to do that. We're going to be back down in Southwest Florida.
So she said, what does it look like when the president comes to Florida? He said, I don't know if the president's coming to Florida. And then he starts talking about some woman that works for FEMA. The woman who works for FEMA is coming tomorrow, confirmed. We're going to take her to all the spots. We're going to talk to her. He just totally blows off Biden. He's just like, I don't know if he's coming. Next, I'm going to move on to this. And then he comes back to Biden in a second. He's like, he looks around. He's like, is he coming? Is he coming? I don't think he's coming.
But we're also working to see other impacts.
Seeing him while he's in
He's
town,
saying
no
FEMA.
Is he coming?
From what I understand, he will be here tomorrow.
Okay. Did you know that? Yes. Yeah. I don't know if that's the case. With the FEMA administrators here, maybe.
The media said, "Are you gonna talk to him tomorrow?" He said, "Is he coming?" And she said, "Yeah, I think he's supposed to come tomorrow." He looked over. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, Biden is not. Biden can't barely get out of bed. You really think he's gonna be there the day after the hurricane?
So we'll see. But I mean, at the end of the day,
we'll see.
We want all the support that we
Yo,
can
DeSantis
get because we understand that there's a lot of need out there, and these are good communities. You know, the thing is these are resilient folks. These are really good folks down there, and they will bounce back. But we just need to make sure that we can kind of pave the way for them. All right.
Let's contrast with Biden.
Of Ian. Let's listen in.
Really are.
Now, this is Biden going to the FEMA headquarters. Biden did not go to Florida, as far as I know, unless something new has come out in the past 24 hours that he's down there now that I don't know about. If so, let me know in chat. As far as I know, Biden still hasn't gone down to Florida to look at it. He did go to FEMA. Just watch this. Like, He's on camera. This is live TV, CBS News Live, presidential address. And he, just watch.
And I just met another room with
Biden, the camera's over here, buddy.
And, you know, one of the things that I think is so important.
Biden, the microphone's this way. Camera's over here, buddy.
There's a lot.
Hey.
Over the last
Joe.
6, 8, 10 years.
Tracking Joe Biden.
The loss of faith in government along the way. It just keeps eroding.
Why is he going into the corner? Who the hell is he talking to? Biden, where are you going? I wanted to edit it so that this little box right here said tracking Joe. And like had like a little Joe face wandering around. Joe, what are you doing, buddy? The camera and the microphone over here. Look at you can't see it. I also should have zoomed in because these people in the back right here, this little group right here, they're cracking up. They're like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
Because they wonder whether or not the institutions work. That's not how to think about it, institutions.
Joe.
But can it work?
Joe, we can't hear you.
Government's here to serve me. Is it working?
Joe, you have a microphone and a PA system and a camera over here.
On the line, they're risking their lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
He went to Puerto Rico.
Okay, now I'm supposed to speak.
Now I'm supposed to speak. Yeah, you were supposed to be speaking from the beginning since we went live, Joe.
I'm here at FEMA headquarters to thank Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas.
Joe, you just turned the page.
Down to the Coast Guard, Fagan, and the Commanding General of the Army Corps of Engineers, Lieutenant General Spellman.
What did he just say?
And the FEMA administrator who's become the MVP here these days. I spent a lot of time.
Hey, isn't that a sign of like Alzheimer's or something when you start all your words kind of just blur together? Yeah, Lieutenant General, Lieutenant General, isn't that a sign of declining mental stability?
This room. Griswold, FEMA, and the entire workforce.
Look, these people are laughing. They're like, who the hell is he talking about? Griswold.
As we focus on delivering help to the people directly impacted by Hurricane Ian. I'm going to use this.
Here, I'm going to pick up a mic in the middle of the speech.
It made land.
Joe, in the middle of the speech. I don't know what to say. He picks up another microphone. You've got two microphones in front of you. You just spent half of the interview talking with your back face to the camera. Then you turn around and you don't. What is going?
Fall yesterday, and it is still moving across the state today. This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history.
Yeah, we're supposed to be critical of the president, Frederica.
Still unclear, but we're hearing
it's the highest office in the world.
Of what may be
they're supposed to be the top of the game.
And parenthetically, I should note I've spoken with the governors and the mayors and the commissioners.
I'll beat Joe Biden right now in an IQ test, a competency test, a spatial recognition test, a whatever test you want to give us. I could run faster than him. I could bench press more than him. I don't have as much money as him because I don't have, a bunch of shell corporations and what's it called? Insider trading, things like that. I don't have my son set up receiving money from Ukraine and China. So I don't have as much money as him. But other than that, I don't think there's anything that that I couldn't do better than Joe Biden, Frederica. And that's why I'm critical of him. Because he's the president. He's supposed to be better than all of us. He's supposed to be the top dog.
I've been on the phone with the governor this morning. I spoke with the commissioners and mayors.
Look,
and
his speech is so boring. They had to
worried, but they
had to run clips of hurricane damage
is being done
to distract you from
towns or counties,
the retarded mumbo jumbo that this guy is spewing off in his mouth.
Many are hurting today, and our entire country hurts with them because it's been all over the country. We've seen so many crises, but in Florida today is a...
Remember what I was telling you guys about how a leader is supposed to reassure the people and comfort the people and inspire the people, not fearmonger? Remember that? Remember I was just talking about that? What is Joe saying? What's Joe saying?
Families are hurting. Many Many are hurting today, and our entire country hurts with them because it's been all over the country. We've seen so many crises, but in Florida
all over the country, we see so many crises.
Is the epicenter.
Florida is the epicenter of the crises. Deadly rainfall.
Roads and homes flooded. We're seeing millions of people without power and thousands hunkered down in schools and community centers. They're wondering what's going to be left. What's going to be left when they get to go home, quote unquote home, or even if they have a home to go.
Even if they have a home to go to.
In Florida, and the storm just hours away from hitting South Carolina. Some parts are already hit. I want to update you on what we've done since I last spoke.
Deadliest in Florida's history? Wrong, Robbie.
I've directed that every possible action be taken to save lives and get help to survivors.
That's not true.
Because every single minute counts. It's not just a crisis for Florida.
You guys like my music?
We're all in this together, and I've spoken to Governor Desantis on multiple occasions, as well as this morning, and as well as mayors and county officials, both Republican and Democrat, from the places most affected.
Our country hurts.
And I spoke with Governor McMaster of South Carolina this morning as well. America's heart is literally breaking, just watching people watching on television. In my direction, we pre-deployed the largest team of search and rescue experts in recent history.
I did the editing on this, guys.
So many of the rescuers need to take place now, need to be there in place now, in the water now. Emphasize, this is one fight. Everyone working
Free
together.
crack pipes.
Coast Guard, Defense Department, Customs and Border Patrol, Florida
What's
Fish
up,
and
Bam? No,
Wildlife,
reported
local
for duty.
officials. They're doing everything they can to rescue people. They compound one another, natural disasters and the Delta variant. And that's what we're going to be discussing today with the group I've assembled here. We need to be ready to manage our natural disasters caused by hurricanes hitting the southeast and the environment with a broad community spread of COVID-19. And the best thing we can do is to prepare for that is for everyone who's not vaccinated. I know it's a broken record, I keep saying it, but to get vaccinated.
The best thing we can do is to prepare for that is for everyone who's not vaccinated. I know it's a broken record, I keep saying it, but to get vaccinated.
That instrumental there was called a final boss fight. Biden is the final boss fight. I put epic cinematic scary or epic intense cinematic music, and that's what I got. Dun, 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 dun. Guys, the only way to protect yourself from a hurricane is to get the Vaseline. You got it. Do you hate your president, JS? No, I don't hate him. I love him. And that's why I love him enough to say that he should not be there. He is not mentally stable to be in the highest office in the land. I feel sad for him, Frederica. I feel sad that the people around him are using him like a puppet, crazy videos and stuff. But in regards to Florida, Florida, you know, this is the point when they're saying this is the worst hurricane in Florida history and all these things. Florida's got a history of hurricanes. They always get hurricanes. Hurricane Andrew in 1992. That was a Category 5 Atlantic hurricane that struck the Bahamas, Florida, and Louisiana. That's a Category 5. And then in 2004, so this is the year, 4 hurricanes in 6 weeks in 2004. So this is would be my sophomore year in high school. I was class of 2006. So Florida, officially known as the Sunshine State, was dubbed the Plywood State by media after it was battered by 4 hurricanes in only 6 weeks during the 2004 hurricane season. So basically, for 6 weeks, we had no school. It was like summer vacation in the middle of the year, right after summer vacation, really. And yeah, so 2004, we had 4 hurricanes back to back to back in 6 weeks. Hurricane Francis. Where's the list of all the names? Tampa Bay region. Charlie was first, then Francis. Charlie was big. Charlie was a big one. Hurricane warning extended across the entire west of the peninsula. Many people only paid attention to the center forecast line inside the track forecast air cone. That morning, the line was over Tampa Bay region, but early that afternoon, Charlie strengthened to a Category 4 and veered a bit to the right, coming ashore at Punta Gorda. So look, this is their predictions for Charlie. Direct hit on Tampa. If I could go back to Andrew, well, Andrew came from the Atlantic. These are Gulf hurricanes. Andrew came from this way. So usually they're going to come and they're going to hit down here in the Bahamas, Cuba, on this bottom part of Florida, or they're going to come up along the East Coast and they're going to hit in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, up in here. Or a Gulf hurricane will often swoop by and it'll hit Louisiana. They could hit Texas, Alabama, Georgia, the Panhandle, or slightly north of Tampa. But they never hit Tampa, and they're always telling us they're going to hit Tampa, and then they don't hit Tampa. So this is what I'm saying with the whole, this isn't anything new, and all the people saying, oh, we're lucky it missed us. What do you mean? Hurricane Charlie, the line was over the Tampa Bay region, but early that afternoon, Charlie strengthened to a Category 4 hurricane and veered a bit to the right. They always veer to the right or to the left. It always happens that way, and I would suspect it has to do with wind pressures and Gulf streams and currents and things like this. There's a reason why the hurricanes never hit Tampa. It's in a little sweet spot. It's not luck. It's just the way they work. It's just the way these storms work. But anyway, Charlie, then Francis hit the Panhandle. Numerous tornadoes statewide. Often, a lot of the destruction from hurricanes comes from tornadoes that spawn off of the hurricanes and the flooding. On the same day Francis hit, Hurricane Ivan developed over the tropics. Goes Alabama. Ivan came ashore as a Category 3 just west of Gulf Shores, Alabama, portions of Interstate 10, Pensacola Bay. And then we had Hurricane Jean to wrap it up. Category 3 storm. So this was a 5, a 4, a 4, a 3, back to back to back to back to back. No power in most parts of the state of Florida for almost 6 weeks for everyone. And we're running wild, man. It's 55-mile wide. I'd cross Florida coast at virtually the same spot where Francis did. Widespread flooding and rainfall. So that's 2004. I survived 2004 hurricane season. And so, yeah, that's my point. That's my point. Hurricanes, they happen all the time. It's not an act of God. There's nothing about luck. It's not tragedy. It's just part of the world. If you're going to live in Florida, you're going to deal with hurricanes. Okay, Battle of the Minds coming up. Yeah, let me burn through these other stories. I just Googled some things. Most destructive natural disasters. We got the Great Galveston Storm, the Sichuan earthquake, Australia's wildfire. That was a big one that happened fairly recently. Hurricane Maria, Mount Tambora eruption, Lake Nyos, Huascaran avalanche, and Kashmir earthquake. These are the most destructive. Here's the eight biggest natural disasters in history. These natural disasters caused widespread death and destruction. So these covered the most area, I guess. Natural disasters are devastating events that have potential to cause huge amounts of damage and loss of life. Globally, around 60,000 people die each year as a result of disasters such as droughts, floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, and a further 150 million people are impacted by these events. Over the past decade, global natural disasters have accounted for 0.1% of total deaths. 0.1. Now, all-cause mortality is climbing. Unknown cause of death is climbing.
Baba Booey.
Rest is climbing. Blood climbing. You know what's not going up is the natural disaster deaths. But all we hear about is climate change. 0.1%. Interesting. So the 8 biggest natural disasters. The 1900 Great Galveston Storm. So this is what we just read. A storm swept through Galveston, an island off the coast of Texas. So it's Galveston, Texas, in 1900, September 8th, 1900. At the time, Galveston was one of Texas' biggest port cities, but a hurricane with 140-mile-per-hour winds swept it off the map. Although it remains unclear exactly how many people perished, The final death toll was estimated between 6,000 and 8,000 people, 1/6 of the island's population. Then we got the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, 7.9 magnitude earthquake in 2008. Hit several regions in south central China, caused multiple landslides and building collapses that killed almost 70,000 people from an earthquake. Dang. And I know earthquakes can also bring tsunamis. But that's a 7.9. That's the second. Now, less people died in this Galveston one. Why is it number one? Many more people died, killed almost 70,000 people. Well, that's because China's packed so densely. So I guess these are biggest as in size, not number of deaths, but as in the amount of land it covered. So the hurricane covered more land than the earthquake. I'm guessing. That's what the article says. 2019 and 2020. So again, recently, 2 years ago, the Australian wildfires. Wildfires. The official death toll for the wildfires was only 33. So yeah, this is not based on amount of destruction or amount of death. This top 8 is how widespread it was. The 2017 Hurricane Maria. Is this where did this hit? Hurricane Maria 2017. This hit South Carolina or something? The East Coast? Yeah, New England. Right? Hurricane Maria had the highest average rainfalls. Oh, it's Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was hit by the deadliest U.S.-based natural disaster in the last 100 years. Maria was estimated the total death toll was more than 4,600. Hurricane Maria was also third most costly tropical cyclone in U.S., causing around $98 billion worth of damage to Puerto Rico. The 1815 Mount Tambora eruption. This is what I'm worried about: is Yellowstone and Mount St. Helens blowing up. What if they win at the same time? I'd be dead. I would not make it. I'm too close. The Mount Tambora volcano in Indonesia, April 10th, 1815. Estimated that 36 cubic miles of exploded rock blasted into the atmosphere and could be seen as far as 808 miles away. Records indicate the eruption caused 11,000 immediate deaths from pyroclastic flows, fast-moving solid lava, hot gas, and ash. And a further 100,000 people died from food shortages over the preceding decade caused by the reduction in sunlight. Wow. Lake Nyos eruption in 1986. Lethal clouds of carbon dioxide bubbled up from the depths of Lake Nyos in northwest Cameroon and caused deaths of almost 1,800 people and 3,000 livestock. Then we got 1970 Huascarán avalanche. A big old 7.9 magnitude earthquake. Again, one of Peru's deadliest landslides. Forced the earthquake caused massive landslides that buried surrounding towns. It's estimated that it cascaded at 100 miles per hour. It crashed into something. A total of 70,000 people lost their lives. The Kashmir earthquake is the last one. So these are the biggest natural disasters. Earthquakes are on top of the list. Now, these are the deadliest. And I don't think I don't think there's any crossover here between size and deadliest. There might be. I can't remember. Deadliest. So we got the AD 1138 Aleppo earthquake. Now, some of this stuff, I'm not sure how accurate. I mean, we only have historical things to tell us, but the resulting death toll, 230,000. Then we got, it's a tie. Oh, it says tie. Number 10 is a tie between that earthquake and the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake. Earthquake and tsunami. Yeah, it made a tsunami. A 9.1 magnitude earthquake. Tied for 10th place. December 26, 2004, the quake created a massive tsunami that killed approximately 230,000 people. So both of these killed 230,000. This was a 9.1 earthquake that made a tsunami. Tsunamis I would not want to play with a tsunami. The tsunami reached land in as little as 15 to 20 minutes after the quake hit. It was moving at 500 miles per hour. Wow. That's wild. The Tangshan earthquake in 1976. Then we got the Antioch earthquake. So the most deadliest are definitely earthquakes. Earthquake. These are the 10 most deadly. We got earthquake and tsunami caused a tsunami, earthquake. Number 6 is a tie. Number 6 is a tie between a typhoon and a cyclone. Wonder what the difference between a cyclone and the Georgia cyclone made landfall at the port city of India's Bay, whipped up the storm surge up. So again, it's like a tsunami. It's like it made a tsunami. The tsunamis are the problem, man. The earthquakes bring the tsunamis. Earthquakes are just horrible. And we got earthquakes here in Utah. I've been through some. But the tsunamis that the earthquakes bring, the storm surge from hurricanes is a problem. The hurricane's wind speeds and category are not known. Estimated 300,000 people. With the lives of estimated 300,000 people. So if these two up here are 230,000. Oh, we're getting higher as we go. Okay. 300,000 here, 300,000 here, a cyclone and a typhoon. The Bola, the 1970 Bola cyclone. Look at all these dead cows. The cyclone hit what is now Bangladesh in 1970. Strongest wind speed measured 130 miles per hour, making the equivalent of a Category 4 major hurricane. The storm surge combined with lack of evacuation resulted in a massive death toll estimated at 300,000 to 500,000 people. Crazy. Number 3, the Shanghai earthquake. We got an earthquake again. The deadliest earthquake in history hit China's Shanghai province on January 1556, known as the Zhejiang Great Earthquake. 830,000 people died. Cave homes carved into the region's lowest plateaus collapsed. The exact magnitude of the quake is lost to history. Number 2, the Yellow River flood. Again, flooding, water. It seems like earthquakes and tsunamis or floods, big problem. And sometimes they come hand in hand. I'm starting to think Antarctica is the biggest uranium reserve. LSP's hopes and dreams, brother. Anyone know when the first volcano erupted and facts about that? I doubt we know that. I do have some volcano stuff coming up. The number 1 most dangerous, most deadly natural disaster is the 1931 Yangtze River floods. Contemporary government numbers put the dead at around 2 million, but other agents say it may have been as much as 3.7 million people. Springs. A lot of China stuff. God mad at China. Overtopped its banks as spring snowmelt mingled with over 24 inches of rain that fell during the month of July alone. According to see, this is crazy to me. Number 1 is a river flood. A river flooded from too much. That's crazy to me. Anyway, so those are the 8 biggest and the 10 deadliest. No overlap there, as you saw. 1980 cataclysmic eruption. So this is Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens really interests me. Check this out. Lateral blast. Mount St. Helens blew up in May 18th of 1980. A magnitude 5 earthquake was accompanied by a debris avalanche, which in turn unloaded the confining pressure at the top of the volcano by removing the cryptodome. This abrupt pressure release allowed hot water in the system to flash to steam, which expanded explosively, initiating a hydrothermal blast directed laterally through the landslide scar. Because the upper portion of the volcano was removed, the pressure decreased on the system of magma beneath the volcano. A wave of decreasing pressure down the volcano conduit to the subsurface magma reservoir, which then began to rise, form bubbles, and erupt explosively during a 9-hour-long Plinian eruption. Plinian phase continued for 9 hours, producing a high eruption column, numerous pyroclastic flows. That pyroclastic flow ain't nothing to play with. An ash fall downwind of the eruption. Eruption reached its peak between 3 and 5 p.m. when the Plinian base was over. So yeah, this is Mount St. Helens. They're saying it's due to go again. Lots of cool pictures. I think I These are more pictures of Mount St. Helens. It was crazy. Is there video? All right, let's check this out.
Almost 10,000 feet tall, Mount St. Helens is one of several active volcanoes.
Beneath you somewhere, there's water, and it just breaks through as an explosion, like a pressure cooker.
In a lethal lateral eruption, devastating a much larger area.
That's when it blows out the sidewalls. That's when it blows out the sidewalls. So a typical eruption, it blows off the top and it goes straight up. But a lateral eruption is when it blows out that sidewall and it blasts out. The pyroclastic flow is in the movie Dante's Peak. It was a gas cloud that was like acid in the air. I don't think that movie is accurate because they say that pyroclastic flow is solid magma. I'm not 100% sure, but the movie Dante's Peak makes it seem like it's a gas cloud that burns you up.
We are directly above Mount St. Helens now, and there is no question that the volcanic activity has started.
Such is the force of Mount St. Helens.
Look at that. That's insane. So that cloud, yeah.
Lateral eruption, that an incredible 1,300 feet of mountain disappears almost instantly. Eruption.
Look at that. Dude,
next
that's
phase.
crazy.
Expanding magma inside the volcano sends thousands of tons of scorching rock and gas high into the atmosphere.
You guys remember the movie Dante's Peak? Lateral is devastating. Facts. Remember when they tried to take the boat across the lake and the water was like turned to acid? And the cloud... Is there any science behind that? Or is it just that the water was so hot it was burning up the boat? I need to rewatch that movie because I feel like it didn't seem to make much sense why the water turned to acid and why the cloud was burning them up. In just over 2 weeks, the ash circled the entire globe. Wow.
Officially the deadliest, most...
Now see that? If you're wearing a mask in that situation, that makes sense. I also got, a historical, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD and the destruction of Pompeii. So we had another legendary volcano explode. It's History Channel, so they're writing it like it's an actual story. Never in their darkest nightmares could the 1,500 citizens of Pompeii predict the cruel hand of fate was about to deal their beloved city that day. Situated in the Bay of Naples, in the Campania region of Italy, the people in this region lived in the shadow of a sleepy giant, Mount Vesuvius. The Romans knew it was a volcano, but they were completely ignorant to the extent of its destructive power. They also fatally believed it was extinct. The catastrophic events of 24th of August, 79 AD would demonstrate how wrong that belief was. We don't have pictures of this, but it's just an interesting story. There's a movie about it and stuff. It wiped out all of Pompeii. Herculaneum and Pompeii were never rebuilt again. They lay buried under ash, dust, and rock, forever preserved underground time capsules. In the immediate aftermath, Roman looters dug into Pompeii to steal whatever valuables they could. In the centuries that followed, the knowledge of where Herculaneum and Pompeii once lay became lost. They would remain forgotten until their accidental rediscoveries in the 18th century. Excavations in the 19th century, left behind by discovered in layers of ash, spaces left behind by decomposed human bodies. He invented the technique of injecting plaster into them to bring them to life in vivid detail. The people of Pompeii in their final desperate moments. Interesting. So the people were like encapsulated in magma and lava, and then they rotted away in there over centuries. And so when they were digging to find them, they kept finding these hollow cavities that looked like people. So what this guy decided to do was, when he found one of these hollow openings, he would inject plaster into it and basically make a cast of the person's body. I'd like to see some of these. Over 1,000 of these casts have been made, bodies frozen in gruesome suspended animation. Pompeii, dude, could you guys imagine being overtaken by magma, by lava? That would be horrible. That would be horrible. It would be as bad, if not worse, than burning to death with straight fire. Could you imagine how horrible? Imagine if it rolled from your feet up. Like, oh man, I would hope you would go into shock very quickly and just die. because that would be horrible. Don't get stuck between a rock and a hard place. Don't follow me. You get stuck. Mount Vesuvius is still a live volcano. It can blow at any time. Dang. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that. Anyway, you got pictures right here. So these are these casts that he made of these people. Look at them. They're crawling away. Like, this person got encapsulated in magma as he was crawling away. To me, that sounds like that sounds like the magma got him. You know? Then we got tornadoes. Last but not least, we got tornadoes and tsunami footage. Look at that. Very loud in my headphones. You're good. You're good. Keep going. Now, this is wild. Now, hurricane chasers, not that scary. Like, a hurricane, you know it's coming. You got plenty of time. You know the general area it's going to hit. And you can kind of get out. If it gets too bad, you can drive out. All of these things. Tornado chasers, they are adrenaline junkies. When I was saying earlier, it doesn't take much courage to go outside in a hurricane and be a hurricane chaser. It does take some balls, guys. Don't get me wrong. It does take some balls to be a tornado chaser. And hurricanes can produce tornadoes. So, there is some courage required to be a hurricane chaser also, because you might get hit by a tsunami or a tornado. But a tornado chaser, strictly tornado chasers, these people, sometimes they're crazy because they're risking life and limb to get as close as possible to these things, and it's insane. Listen, it gets quiet. It gets quiet right before they're driving right into it. Wow. Jeez. Damn. Whoa. I would not be playing around with that. Yeah, I would. But I understand it's crazy. That's insane. You guys see that? Touching down. Doubled up. Oh. Last but not least, let's watch some tsunami footage. And yeah, better be actual tsunamis. Dang! Kids, get out of there, kids. Oh, shoot. These kids are about to get washed up. Yo, his bike is gone. Audio. There's no audio now. The audio went away. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, China. Oh, China's getting one. Look at all these people. Dang! What? Oh no! His scooter. What are they laughing at? Oh, now this might be good. India, 2004. That's a wave, my guy. Dang. Come on, cameraman. Get on your job. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. Wow. It's huge. Get your head out of the way, bro. That's humongous. Japan. Oh, it breached the seawall. Oh, no. Dang. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. That's insane. Look at that boat. Oh, wow. Oh, dude, those people are probably not okay. Is that a cyclone? Oh, no. Look at that helicopter. Whoa. Boom. They're already flooded. And then they got a little more water. I would like to know if the people survived. Yeah. Last one. Indonesia. Here it comes. It made it over that wall. You can't really tell what's going on in this one very well. You just see a wall of water. Oh, that boat made it over the first wave. Oh, it ain't gonna make it over the second wave. Uh-oh. Oh, it's getting to land. Oh, that boat's done. That boat's flipped. Capsized. Wait, were there people out there? Yeah, there's people. Look at that. Look, right here. You can't see it because my camera's in the way. Hold on. That's it. Oh, this is all from the same Indonesian tsunami. Look at everything just washing down the road. That wasn't a real picture. That's a fake picture. That's also fake. Okay. All right. That's it. That's it. We looked at all the natural disaster stuff. We covered all the news. We talked about everything we needed to talk about. Hey guys, thank you for checking out this clip from the Dreaded Conservative Show every Monday night, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the bell so you know whenever I go live, not just for the Dreaded Conservative Show, but for all the game streams and UFC streams and other fun stuff that we do throughout the week. And make sure you comment and share this video with a friend. But until next time, I got a video. I got a playlist. You guys can check those out, but I'm out. Peace.